Hi guys! How many times have you searched SSAS Tutorial? How many times have you reached your desired result? With the current training, were you able to do an industrial project from the beginning of defining the data to deploying the project and handing it over to the customer? I, who have been working in this field for 11 years, have not found anything. I don't know you. Today, I am here to tell you that this happened for the first time and is absolutely free by nil to build. After 17 years of activity in the data field and 11 years of specialized experience in the SQL Server Analysis Services field, we have prepared pieces of training for you. All the focus of these pieces of training was on their industrialization. Besides learning analysis services thoroughly, you also know the industrial project process. You may ask, in what way? For example, the same training I will introduce, SSAS Tutorial for Intermediate, starts from the beginning and teaches you the whole SQL Server Analysis Services in 8 steps. The process is like this. We chose a real example from the industry. We say the first step for any SQL services project in the industry is to define the data source. We will talk about this step in detail. What form the data may be, what challenges may arise for you, what are the necessary tools in this step, etc. Finally, we teach how to do this in the SQL Server Analysis Services environment. We do the same for the next step. But how long? Until the stage where we deploy the final result of the project and finally connect it to a beautiful interface and deliver it to the customer. We look at the technical aspect and what the customer wants. The customer wants an excellent interface, but you need to do the technical platform correctly and according to a standard. We have considered all these things in this tutorial and will teach you. I know you are very eager to go quickly and start this training. But don't rush.
If you want this training to be practical for you, you must observe 2 points. 1. If you don't know about SQL Server Analysis Services, before watching this tutorial, I suggest you read our article, SSAS Tutorial for Beginners, and then go to this part. 2. Read the article to the end, and at the same time, implement all the examples and exercises. I promise you that there will be a significant change in your education that you never thought of. Remember that these lessons result from 11 years of practical experience in the whole industrial project, and not just some theoretical training.
As a final speech, I will briefly introduce these 8 steps. If you are watching this video on YouTube, don't worry. I will put the link to both articles that I presented at the bottom of this video. But let's go to the short introduction of 8 steps. We define the data source because everything starts here. We create a map and structure for our project. Then, we analyze and implement all the required analytical dimensions of our work. After that, we implement hierarchies for these dimensions. We go to fact to do the accounting work for our business. Dimensions and facts should be placed in a particular database for analysis, which you probably know is Cube. Now we have to save the cube where we can get all the reports from this section later. We call this act of deploying. So we do this on our project. Everything is done so far. But can we deliver this output to the customer? Does the customer have any information about fact, dimension, cube, or deploy? Are these terms vital to him at all? Now you explain to the customer that my work is precious by morning. Does it have an effect? Your answer is correct. Definitely not. The client says I want the final output as a beautiful interface. For example, Power BI, a mobile application, a web page, etc., and he is right. You probably noticed that in the last step, we would connect the final result to a beautiful interface and deliver it to the customer. What the customer is looking for.
Yes, we have prepared all these items for you in the same way and order, but with more details and examples. Before the additional explanations, I invite you to read this article and enjoy it. Until the following tutorial, for now.